This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Grant Hall is with us today here, as always, on Wednesday. Grant, sounds like you're driving somewhere. Where are you headed?
Oh, I took my wife to the airport. She's going to see some family in North Carolina and coming back from there. So
that's so sweet. That's how you know you really love somebody, when you take them to the airport, or when they take you to the airport, and it's no questions asked. That's great. That's great. It's also maybe you know you love somebody when you get them a second chance, right? How do you view this hiring of Bobby Petrino at Arkansas, Grant?
Well, I think it's a mega home run hire. I mean, I think you can just tell by the excitement yesterday. One of the TV staff.
This is also what happens when you take somebody to the airport. It's all right. We lost you. No, we lost you for a moment. I guess if you're coming out of Cave Springs, there are a couple of weak spots.
Yeah.
But keep going. We got you.
Well, one of the TV stations last night said 60-something% favorable reaction, and I just think it's what Sam, he kind of gave a pretty good clue last week when he said someone with Arkansas experience and SEC experience, and so the others, I guess you might have thought of Lunny Jr. or Loggins or Cheney or somebody, but I think Bobby would go to the top of most people's list on that. As Matt said, there's not much question about his play calling ability. And really, I mean, I think when he's introduced tonight at the basketball game, it'll just be uproarious cheering. By the way, those fans, there was a tent city last night for this Duke game. So it kind of just comes together. I thought it was interesting that ESPN let its crawl last night. The lead story was Bobby Petrino back to Arkansas. And for a coordinator, that's pretty good.
Grant, what do you think this means for KJ? And maybe even was it Courtney Crutchfield, the receiver, the number one receiver in the state? What for those two guys? What do you think this means?
Well, I understand Sam and Bobby are going to go Friday to Pine Bluff, and the guy who withdrew his commitment for a while. So as far as quarterback, I'm not so sure that you might see sort of a trade between Mississippi State and Arkansas. KJ may go there, and I saw Will Rogers is in the portal. Maybe he comes to Arkansas. Who knows? But a lot of interesting stuff there, even to the point of I know that Drake Lindsay is committed to Minnesota. Who knows? Maybe they can. Bobby would be a perfect coordinator for him. I think he did pretty well with Ryan Mallett and Tyler Wilson, and Drake has that kind of arm, that kind of passing ability. I got to see it close up last week when Fayetteville, got to the finals. So, I don't know if that'll happen, but it's kind of fun to think about.
So really a lot of fun to think about. I also think about when did this idea hit Sam Pittman? Now that there's a lot of folks that think maybe he was directed to make this hire. I think this is his hire because Friday he's asked about, what do you want in an offensive coordinator? And what he said a number of things about this and that, but he also said somebody that knows how to run the ball. And I've never thought of Bobby Petrino as a run-oriented offensive coordinator. I'm not criticizing what he said. It's just, I kind of view Sam Pittman as a run-oriented head coach offensively.
Right.
I would think the same way about any offensive line guy. But that's not necessarily what Petrino is.
Yeah, I think A&M ran for 140-something a game this year average. He would typically run in the fourth quarter, to run clock off after Arkansas took the lead when he was at Arkansas. But I think it's been done for a while, or at least that's probably who Sam wanted. And it's a splash hire, which I think they really needed, especially with this new NIL stuff coming along. So and it was just a matter of probably clearing. I know they had that UA rule, but, Bobby, I think that was passed in 2012, and he was out here in 2011, and I think Bobbitt signed off on it. And, I think it's probably been settled for a while, if I had my guess.
Grant, let me ask you a little bit. I think we all know when we have these debates on this show sometime is Arkansas becoming a basketball school, and clearly we're still a football school. I mean, it's out of control with all the football buzz. But we got a big game. We got a big basketball game up on the hill tonight with Duke coming in. Kind of give me your thoughts and what do you hope to see out of this Arkansas basketball team tonight?
Well, I hope to see the kind of effort they had against Purdue, and I think the crowd, of course, will help a lot in that. Eric told us Monday night that he spent, 14 hours looking at all three game tapes of the games in the tournament that they played, and of course, that didn't go very well. He typically assigns that to an assistant coach, but I think he wanted to just look for himself and look at everything and give everybody notes on what he expected from them. And I don't know what he said that he basically said Mark is one of the maybe the toughest kid he ever coached in terms of trying to get back out there to practice, from not even being able to move a day or two before that. So I don't know what his status is going to be. Just having him on the bench probably helpful. And Ella Ellis, I think, is a big key. Ellis went from scoring 14 a game or something early to doing hardly anything in the tournament. So they're going to need him, I think. They're going to have to play their best ball. I mean, obviously Duke is great, but it's a really good series between the two. I mean, they've played in tournaments before. I think they're 2-2. 29 and a half years ago, I was trying to interview Bill Clinton after the game, President Bill Clinton after the game after Arkansas beat them. So there's a lot of history, and I just think the fact that I think almost surely they'll introduce Petrino tonight, and the fans will be jazzed.
Look at you name dropping President Clinton here. I was just interviewing the president, no big deal or anything like that. Grant, there was.
Well, all these Secret Service guys were around. He was just in the crowd, I was trying to get to him afterwards. Everybody in the state knew him when he was governor, pretty much. And I kept saying President Clinton wasn't getting anywhere. So finally I ordered Bill, and then he turned, and then he said, yeah, he's okay. So I got to talk to him.
Speaking of people who got second chances, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, this Duke game has had such a build-up, Grant. I mean, it really it's the most anticipated home game at Bud Walton Arena that I've ever been around for in the state of Arkansas. I've lived here almost 23 years. I can't think of a single basketball game that has had more of a buildup. And so much of that had to do with, we have a team that's going to compete with them. We have a team that can beat Duke. And it's not to say that can't happen. It's just, I don't think fans expected that Arkansas would come in losing 3 out of 4, including a home game to Greensboro, and that the guy that's supposed to be grown as a big man in Jalen Graham is hurt and won't play, and your top scorer probably isn't going to play. So I don't know. You have this expectation of what the game's supposed to be when it's announced, and even 3 weeks ago you had a different expectation, I think, of what people are actually showing up for tonight.
It's just so cool to have Duke here. I mean, I remember when UNLV came with Coach Tarkanian all those years ago, and that was at the other arena. But, I mean, tickets were out. I remember Andy Van Slyke was trying to get a ticket the day before the game, stuff like that, and you hear all these prices. But it's just going to be a lot of fun. And I think Arkansas will play well. I mean, they'll have enough to play.
Well, I think they'll have enough to play. I think it'll be a good game. If
Mark's not playing, who is our starting five? Grant, who are you starting tonight?
Well, you could Battle has not been starting, but he's been playing starter minutes. I mean, that would be an option. Ellis had a really tough go when he went in and turned the ball over right before halftime against Memphis. They had a 3 on the other end, and kind of like a 5-point turnaround almost, and it was a 5-point game. So he's a guy that maybe wasn't used to being coached quite like Coach Musselman does, and they've kind of had to adjust to each other. So, but the problem, Matt, is they're not getting very many assists from the point guard position. They got some pretty good score. There's some really good scorers there, and that's going to be obviously something. Plus, as Eric talked about going into this game, the turnovers. And not only turnovers, but steals and points in the other direction. I don't think that's something maybe we saw coming. So they're going to have to get that fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, you'd like to see them. The offense, they do kind of ball watch a little bit, and I think it's just the fact that they're getting used to playing with each other, and you're getting used to a rotation. You're kind of defining roles, but it does seem we get a little isocentric and settle for the 1-and-1 instead of passing and moving. And it goes both ways too, Grant. I see us on defense. And I see Coach Musk really coaching it where they'll make a pass and then we'll function the right way and slide over. Then they'll pass and then it's like we stop moving. It's like after they do it 3 times and they make the other extra pass and then it's open layup because we didn't have the other guy slide down. He was stuck to his man. So I think there's still a lot of learning and a lot of coaching going with this team.
Yeah, that's right, and they're going to try a whole new defense. At least he says he is, to try to account for Filipowski and the Duke really good players. And I think Blocker, that's maybe the one really good thing that emerged from that tournament was his play and starting those last 2 games. And I mean, he can play good defense, and they like that right now. So
big fan of his, big fan.
Yeah. And just quickly, guys, I don't know how much time you have, but the women's basketball team added B. Franklin.
I saw that this morning.
Yeah, a soccer player from Seattle, and of course that's Mike's old stomping grounds where he went to the Final Four. And it comes at a useful time because someone told me yesterday that Sasha has had to kind of withdraw again. Sasha Goforth with her medical history. And that would be a blow to him because she's such a good player and blocks a lot of shots and things. And I hope that's not right, but at least they've got this addition. And I think she's going to go right into to the team and start playing. So we'll see how she does.
Well, she's in game shape.
5'10".
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.